my name is Nikolai Gaines. We're here at Brick World 2025, and this is my creation that I call Warhorn Castle. I've been working on it now for about 8 months to a year. This is my first mock besides some trees and little mountains up front there, but used a lot of Light My Brick parts, a little bit of brick stuff screens. There's over 452 lights total in this. These little sand green tiles and the other 1x1 beside it. The 1x1 grays, there's 7,102 throughout the whole thing. I only know that because I ordered 7,120 and I have 18 left over. So the whole entire thing is completely interiored. There's every single door, every single room opens up. It's my dining hall there. If you look up top there, there's Cloud City Boba. There's White Django, well, White Boba and OG Django just kind of hanging out up top.
Well protected.
Yeah, you can't get in there. You can't reach back in there. So every big old kitchen, well, every big old dining hall needs a kitchen to match. So there's a kitchen, got people working in there. On the back side over here, got a turkey being fired. Got a nice flicker effect going on. Right above that, though, is one of my favorite rooms. This is a little arcade going on. Got Grand Theft Auto, Halo 2, pinball machine. And
Classics.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, and if you go right above here, this is another one of my favorite rooms. I call this the robot building room. There's screens and stuff on the back. And then right above that's the Hunter's Haven that's been taken over by cats. So there's a stuffed bear in there. Just a lot of fun stuff. If you look in here, this is just like a little place for people to chill. There's a World's Best Boss cup sitting there. So trying to really represent everything Lego's done. Got some Lord of the Rings stuff going on in here along with the Ghostbusters painting. But come along this side, a lot of my towers, if you were a minifig, you would be able to walk everywhere through this. There's not a single part of it that's not accessible by stairs. So there's all the towers like this, there's just stairs galore, spirals, everything. Getting in here, it's another one of my real favorite rooms is a dragon training room with a How to Train Your Dragon poster there on the back wall to kind of add a little bit of life to it. These tables are so wonky here, so sometimes connections start to fail because it doesn't sit right. And then right here, this is what I call my war room. This has got my king in it. He's got his friends around him planning their next conquest. I love the floor through there, man. It was so hard to find all of them, but really paid off. Going through the war room, though, you get into the shield room. So it's everyone that's tried to take the castle from them, represented on the walls. Right above it is the owl room. So even though they have alien labs and all of that, I guess they can still have to use owl to send messages from place to place. And thankfully, the dungeon down here, it's completely empty. And of course, the lights are going to be iffy there, but completely empty though. Nobody's locked up, thankfully.
Pretty peaceful time.
Yeah, everybody's enjoying. There's like 2 guys fighting on the other side, but that's it. And these are just some bedrooms. Nothing real crazy going on in there. Got some Star Wars references, I think, in this one.
I really like the variety of flooring throughout. So almost every room is kind of a different pattern or tiles.
Yes, sir. So every room's its own like custom floor, unless it's a tower. I tried to keep the towers more uniformed, stuff like that. If we can go around the other side over here. This was actually the last tower that I finished up here. And yeah, those were just some tiles that I had left over and happened to be able to use them. So glad to have them out of storage. But yeah, another thing that people have like really started to love about this whole build is the roof technique. I learned that from a gentleman on YouTube. I don't know his name, but I did a little bit of tweaking to it. But basically, a lot of people have asked, and I've kept this set to the side. So every single one of these circles lays on one of those, and then pressure holds it in place. So people have been obsessed with that. Yeah. I've had probably 100 people take a photo of that. So that's what I call the princess. Up here, I call this like the princess's little garden. She's got a private little place. Unfortunately, I couldn't open that up just because of how the scallops are. That's actually one of the only non-accessible places. But Below that is actually a reference from my girlfriend. There is a game playing on the wall in there, a TV screen that she had when she was a kid. So that's like the game room. So she was thrilled when I did that for her. And right below that, I got a stone cutting room of a guy, carving out a dragon. Turned out really cool. I love the flicker of that fireplace in there.
Yeah, the advancements in kind of third-party lighting systems in recent years have made for all sorts of cool effects like that.
Yeah, it's been incredible. People from Light My Brick stuff, both of them have just been so nice. Like, yeah, the amount of support from the community is insane. But coming up here, I got Anakin. He's lit up. Love that. Another just set of stair rooms here. And then coming back in the middle here, this is one of my prizes of the castle. Got Deadpool Duck kind of hanging out up there. I try to keep him really close to the inside so no kids can reach in and snag him. This is just another room of stairs. Pretty good vibe. Down below here though is it gets so hard to see and so much detail gets lost, but there's a storage room there. I call that like dry storage. Just a bunch of shelves and there's some food stacked in there. But it's one big. That's a long way from the kitchen, though, for them to get to it. Yeah, but yeah.
Have you ever lost track of where one of the rooms is? It blends in so nicely.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, especially toward the middle because I can't reach it unless it's all separated. So there's so much of that I'll be like, oh wow, that's where I used that piece. Yeah, it's been a blast, but at the same time, I didn't plan any of it, so it came together so organically, and I did lose some detail that's forever in there. But yeah, coming up here. This is the king's bathroom, but I guess he's using the bathtub as a toilet too because there's no toilet in there. But yeah, I got the duck represented on the wall. In here, I have every single minifig that's been made represented on the back wall. So whoever lives in that room probably collected action figures. Mm-hmm. That's just what I like to say. Then coming next door to it, just another bedroom, but it's got a Batman suit in the back corner there and a bat. So a stack of money, so Batman might be up to no good. And here I call this the Princess Butterfly Room. So there's a tree going all the way through the top with every single butterfly Lego's ever made represented through it. It's such a good vibe. And actually, it is the lightest building in the whole MOC because it's completely hollow besides that tree, which makes me happy because I get tired of carrying the thing.
Exactly.
And then coming in here, this is a complete alien lab. This whole entire area here, forget how some of these doors open sometimes, but this whole building, this was actually the first area besides the front gates that I built of the castle. And I had so much like stuff collected over it, and it was probably the most fun of building the whole thing, trying to run wires to each individual thing. But it's multiple story here, so all of these completely open up. And yeah, it's been a blast there.
I love the inclusion of aliens in a castle built. Very unique.
Yeah, it's just stuff that doesn't normally happen. But yeah, and here, these open up too. This is just another set of stair rooms. Looks like some empty whiskey glasses down at the bottom. They were having a little fun. So. But yeah, getting away from the castle, coming up forward here. This is just more of like a farmland scene. I tried to keep it real open out front just so the castle looks even bigger. But coming this way, I got some farms, a lot of cobblestone. You got some merchants selling like collectible helmets and stuff in there.
This is so fun. It almost feels like a video game map when you come out here and like you just be exploring this area.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a blast. I love all of these different poster boards all over, really add a lot of life. Wanted posters, wanted pictures of Spider-Man. But that was a horse stable. That was just kind of a fun thing. I didn't do lights in it, didn't do any interior in it, but it still was a blast. But there's so many different elements and different trees. Every single tree besides the grouping of those in the middle are all different. I love the usage of just different colors to make it pop, and up here being so bright in front of the castle just really sets everything off. Coming up here, we have a Batman room. He's got all of his different Batman friends, and there's a bunch of them all hanging out. But yeah, little greenhouses, a little bit of water here and there, and it's been a blast though.
Yeah. You mentioned the trees, so I wanted to talk about that with the castle too, and just the kind of floral decorations and the way that you added some kind of greenery and life to all the gray of the castle. So what was your approach with that?
So I actually had a full ride scholarship for art. So I just kind of thought like 3 to 4 colors, two that kind of clash against each other, and then 2 that are like just different greens for every single thing. I wanted each one to be different, and I wanted to really feel like it wasn't overwhelmingly too much greenery to get confused with the front, but also just enough to set it off and set each part different. But I mean, I absolutely love it. Some of the alleyways through there, you got vines coming up on both sides, and it's such a great like vibe. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And the detail that's packed into this, especially just on the outside walls, is super impressive. What were some of your favorite elements to use to kind of make the walls of the castle and kind of add some of that extra detail?
Yeah. So I really thought to use like something to make it look more weathered, kind of broken down. So I used a lot of 1x2s, different plates of that. It didn't really matter if they had smoke damage, because that would just add like a little bit more color to it. But one of my very favorite things that I wish I would have done a lot more is this section here. These are the old shifter knobs that you rip the knob off, put it on a 1x1 that's got the little sideways things. I don't know pieces, but yeah, you flip them and they look like, it really adds a great effect. I wish I would have done it more, but unfortunately, it makes the walls double brick thick and it becomes very, very heavy.
Speaking of that, how do you kind of transport this to a show? What is set up like with this display?
So thankfully, my mom and girlfriend both took off work. We rented another SUV, so I took my SUV, another SUV, and her car to get it here. So very thankful for both of them to help make it happen. But the castle itself comes apart into 7 different chunks. Every single room is completely modular, so all the roofs come off, everything like that. So it actually transports very well. Just a lot of bubble wrap and a lot of saran wrap.
Yeah.
The front, on the other hand, is a lot of individual 32 by 32 plates. So it really becomes a pain to move that, and it's almost like building a set when you're trying to put it back together. Once I got here, all of the rocks look the same once it's separated, and it took me longer to get that together than the castle.
When you're planning out this display, whether the castle or kind of the village and this portion out here, do you have any kind of particular inspiration in mind, or is it just kind of sitting down with the bricks and seeing what comes out?
Yeah, so when it came to the castle, I didn't design any of it. I didn't draw it out, didn't use any kind of studio. I started with the front gate and went back. I had like a collection of pieces, and so I knew different rooms that I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a regular castle build. I wanted to kind of add a little bit more fun to it. So I just kind of went with whatever, and yeah, didn't do any pre-planning, just kind of went with the flow, and I think that's why it turned out so organic. I love it so much.
Yeah. And one of the noticeable things here is all the cool minifigures that you've got throughout here. So where did you get some of those accessories and armor and some of that kind of stuff?
So there is a company called Firestar Toys. They basically source from about anywhere. But I mean, K-Town's killing it. Citizen Brick's killing it. Brick Tactical. I mean, there's so many like great places out there that I'm a Lego purist when it comes to bricks and minifigs. But as far as accessories, shields, capes, helmets, swords, anything like that, love some hand-painted custom stuff. Yeah, especially limited runs. I'm unfortunately one of them guys.
No, but it looks spectacular, and I think it just fills out the scene so nicely. So this is really incredible here. Thank you for all of your work and bringing this out to the show and for taking us through everything. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. It's been an honor meeting you guys. Yes, sir.